What's going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got UFC 252, man. This is a fight that we announced another fight. I can't remember which one it was. It was the heavyweight fight. We announced that one as the first fight of the night, but this is actually the first fight of the night, and it's Tony Kelley taking on Kamaka III. Talking about this fight, Tony Kelley coming out of Team Alpha Male. Obviously, the first thing you have to look at is Kevin Aguilar. He had a split decision loss to Kevin Aguilar, and if you guys haven't seen that fight, go check it out. It's on YouTube, and a lot of people have seen it already. Very, very good fight that I think a lot of people, including myself, actually thought Tony Kelley won. I will talk about Kai Kamaka, but a couple things to mention about Tony Kelley. Tony Kelley, four finished wins, one decision, and looking at his fights, man. So he fought Andy Brosset and submitted him by a guillotine choke in 2019. That was a year ago. Before that, the Kevin Aguilar fight was 3 years before that, his last fight. So he had a 3-year layoff, gets a submission win in the first round. A year later in the UFC, and he's taking this fight on very, very short notice. This fight was actually announced the day we're recording this. So, tough to say, man, because then you pass this one over to Kai Kamaka III. Kai Kamaka III actually fought, what is it, 12 days ago? So 2 weeks ago, he fought Michael Stack, who was undefeated coming into the LFA. He was undefeated, and Kamaka beat him. He beat him unanimously, which is kind of something we've seen from Kamaka before, because right now he currently has a 5-fight win streak of a unanimous decision victory. He has a unanimous decision loss to Jeff Mesa before that, and then a TKO doctor stoppage loss before that. So it's tough, man, because Kai Kamaka comes from Hawaii, and one thing we know about those Hawaiians, man, they can take a punch, and they can brawl. So it's really, really tough to say. Obviously, the older fighter in Kelley. And obviously Kamaka has more experience as well. It's the layoff, man. That's one thing that I think a lot of people have to look at and kind of talk about. But for me, I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Kelley on this one. For a couple of reasons. So Kelley, obviously, I like Kevin Aguilar. I thought going back to his fight with Charles Rosa, I honestly feel like Kevin Aguilar won that fight when I watched it live. Maybe I'm insane, and maybe Rosa won the fight, but I had Kevin Aguilar winning this one. And I actually just watched the Kelley Aguilar fight, and I had Kelley winning the fight. It was a very, very close fight. But from what I saw from this guy is he's able to wrestle. He's able to maintain top position. He's able to fight against submissions, fight for submissions, get submissions. He has 3 different submission victories. Talking about his amateur career, and I know people don't tend to talk about the amateur career, but I think it's something you should point out when you go 2-3 in your amateur career, because he went 2-3. None of the guys who beat him, if I'm not mistaken, made it to pro. And he got finished in all 3 of his losses as well. So he's never been finished in his pro career. So it's tough to say, because and if Kamaka wins, I guess you would probably want to lean towards it being a decision. But talking about Kelley, man, this guy, from what I saw in his fight with Aguilar, he is a very crisp striker. This dude can take the fight to the ground when he needs to. He can defend it when he doesn't want to take it to the ground. And his striking is very, very good. He's such a fluid striker, which I think is such an underrated aspect in striking nowadays. People always want to say, oh, he's got the power. No, you want to see guys who have fluid strikes, go in and out, and hit such velocity in one strike punches. Not even so much their overhand right, but their jabs, their kicks. And that's very much the case with Kelley here. Kelley is able to get these strikes flowing, man, and that's what I see when I see Tony Kelley fight. I see fluidity. I see even when he's in the fights, he'll wave his arms around like this. He'll switch from orthodox to southpaw, and he's very good striking out of both positions. That is what I value in this fight here. Looking at Tony Kelley against Kamaka here, because what I see from Kamaka is he's not able to finish guys, and going into the UFC where stakes are so high, it's tough to say that Kelley can't win this one, because he has that finishing ability. And Kamaka's taking this fight, and he fought 2 weeks ago, but Kelley fought a year ago. So it's really, really tough to say. I'm curious to see what not only you guys, but Zach values in this one. So I'll pass it on to Zach here.
So first and foremost, what I value the most is youth. Now, Kai Kamaka, he is a lot younger at age 25 and Kelley at 33. Well, 33 is absolutely not old. That some people say that's even entering your prime, at least in MMA. The fact is the layoffs is another thing to look at because, yes, Tony Kelley's striking very, very, very crisp. But Kai Kamaka is also a very solid striker as well. But he has not fought in over a year. And before that, he hadn't fought in 3 years. And we know that, I guess, ring rust really isn't a real thing, but it is when you're not talking about the best fighters in the world, right? Those guys who are already UFC quality established, you'll see ring rust not affect them that much. But if you're out of the cage for a long time, it'll absolutely hit you. One of the best examples of this is Carlos Felipe. I think his fight against Sergey Spivak was his first fight in 4 years. He goes and he gets whooped by Sergey Spivak. Just if you're an older guy and you have those long layoffs, it's not good, and especially if you're not that UFC quality. And one thing I look at is Kamaka's winning streak entering in this fight. He has won 5 straight in King of the Cage, Bellator, and LFA. Very, very solid promotions. One of those, the number 2 promotion. The other's the UFC's feeder organization in LFA. And King of the Cage is one of the higher ranked regional promotions as well. Now, I think that his level of activity is definitely a lot higher. And the fact that he fought not so long ago, and I don't think he took too much damage in his fight against Michael Stack, that means he's going to be a lot fresher and a lot more ready to go. And with that youth advantage, I do think that he'll have more cardio, definitely. The fact that he has more fight experience is telling of that as well. I don't know. I just think Kai Kamaka is going to bring this fight to a decision. I mean, you look at his fights, he's not a finisher. Absolutely not. But, I mean, he all fight but one is a decision in terms of his wins. And yeah, you can say he was finished once, but that's a doctor stoppage. And we know those don't really count as finishes every now and then because that's usually due to grizzly injury or a cut, as we saw in the Contender Series. You know, you wouldn't say Stolz's finished the other guy. I'm forgetting his name for right now. But at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of confidence going into this pick, as you really can't with 2 guys who are debuting in the UFC who aren't really that well established. But I'm going Kai Kamaka by unanimous decision for this pick.
Wow. Just not what you were mentioning, but just while you were talking, I'm looking through the Sherdog here, and Kai Kamaka, out of 9 of his fights, 2 guys have a record above 100 right now. And one of the ones is so his last fight obviously was Michael Stack. Michael Stack was 5-0 heading into the fight, or 4-0 heading into the fight. Man, that's one thing that I have to value here, especially not being able to finish these guys. That's one thing I think is really, really important. So it's tough to say. First fight of the night, really, really hoping I get this one right, because typically I'm not great with first fights of the night, but we have a disagreement to start it off. We want to know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are letting us know what your thoughts are. We're getting too much hate on these fight pick videos. We want to see you guys like shout us out and be like, hey, great pick, guys. But this is what I think. I think you guys are getting this one wrong, even though we disagree on this one. Just point is, let us know what your guys' feedback is, and make sure you're checking out the other fight pick videos, leaving a like on the video, subscribing. Just make sure you check out the videos, and we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys watching.